We have 2 million Arabs living in Israel, and they have full rights here, an apartheid state.
This is a Visegrad 24 series about the Israel-Hamas war.
I'm here with Romi Geyor, a content creator and TV host, and we're going to hear about your work. And I know lots of it has changed in the past few months since October 7th.
Yeah, my work has really changed over the past three months, over 100 days. Since October 7th, actually, I have been doing this advocacy work for Israel for the past 2.5 years, since one of the operations, which was called Shomer Chomot. It started on my birthday a couple of years back, and I just felt so helpless because Hamas launched rockets to Tel Aviv. This is common. This is not just like from October 7th. We get rockets from them from the Gaza Strip like all the time. Usually they do not go that far to Tel Aviv, but when it does, then you know it's like really heated up. I remember feeling so helpless and so afraid. I celebrated my 22nd birthday, and then I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. I need to speak out. So I was like, let's take a video. I'm a content creator. I can do this. I called one of my best friends, which is, he's a brilliant photographer and an editor. And I was like, let's just go for it. So I wrote down a text, I filmed it, he edited the video, and we just sent it out there to the world to see. And then I did it. I kept doing it for the past two and a half years, but only when things were like heated up, you know? So now on October 7th, obviously I knew I was gonna keep doing what I do, but it just had so much more into it because I feel like for the first time since I can remember myself, and for the first time in the history of Israel, nothing like this ever happened here. It was so horrible, so scary. Everybody was so freaked out that on October 7th, I filmed my first video to post online and to be like, listen to me. We didn't have still all the details. I remember like going through, I don't know, websites or like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, X, sorry. And on the news, and I try to collect as much details as I can to talk about. And on the first day, it was like 350 murdered people, Israeli people.
That was the announcement.
That was the announcement on the first day. And it was like hundreds of terrorists infiltrated Israel, and I couldn't even like explain it. Then the picture, I feel like the picture over the past like 2 to 3 days, maybe more. No, even more. You know what? It took like a week to get the extent of like what happened.
Numbers. Even then, it was unclear. It's interesting because then your role was more of like a journalist role rather than an advocate, because I feel like the first 2-3 days it was like what is going on, trying to make sense of things.
Yeah, we were trying to make sense of things, and I feel like here in Israel, like the country will need to have the proper investigation to really know what happened here. Nobody could understand this. Survivors that I have been talking to from the Nova Party, they were like, where was the army? Where was that? Where was the soldiers? Where were the country? Like they were so traumatized from it. So I feel like we will need to get everything sorted out afterwards when we finish this war. But for the meanwhile, it is so important to just speak out. I just felt that day that I need to scream out to the world, oh my God, they are killing families in their homes. Please listen to me. I just need someone to understand.
It's interesting that you say you had to let the world know as if no one really realized. Which, there was that feeling like even with the last operation in 2019.
Right.
Then also we were being attacked with thousands of rockets in Tel Aviv.
Nobody did anything or said anything. But let me tell you something. I felt that for the first week or so, I felt there was a lot of compassion towards Israel. Like people could understand that what happened here was unimaginable and was a full-blown out massacre, and it was the worst nightmare that anyone could ever think of. But when we retaliated, then the perception changed again. And people were like, okay, Israel is committing genocide and they're doing this and that. And it's so unfair to me that people think that we should not retaliate or like, comment on what was done to us. I mean, it's so far out of my reach, like out of my mind, that I don't get how people think that we wouldn't,
Yeah, I also think people think of it as revenge rather than self-defense, when actually it's very basic. We actually have to make sure that our borders are safe. We have to make sure that people aren't coming in, attacking.
Yeah, and like Golda once said, we have nowhere else to go. I mean, come on, this is our land. And we have actually delivered all the facts that, support it, that this is the land of the Jewish people. And, every time I post my fact, and every time I do that, I have I call that the history videos, that I go back to the books and I explain to people why and how this is the land of the Jews. And people are like, you're lying. And I'm like, but look, here are the facts. I brought everything. I made it so nice. I edited everything. Please, just I'm not lying to you.
Which are the things that people, I don't know, that people don't know, or that you keep having to explain, or people forget?
People need to understand that before the British Mandate was ruling over here, the land, the territory, was ruled by the Roman Emperor Hadrian. He expelled the Jews from here and decided to change the name of the land from Judea to Syria, Palestina. So this is why some of the maps has the name Palestina on it. And when the Jews came back here to live here, I've seen so many people, also some of the Hadid members, family members, post some sort of coin which says Palestina on it in Hebrew. Like, it's in Hebrew. Come on. Come on. And in English. And they post a picture of the coin and they're like, here, Palestine. There was a Palestine here. Stop. And I was like, come on, you guys. It says in Hebrew, Palestina. And we know the reason why. I feel like it's trendy now to support.
Why do you think it became trendy? Like what?
Palestine.
What about it?
I feel like a lot of people in the world right now, because, or I don't know, as a consequences of social media, are very arrogant in the way that they think they can understand the most complex geopolitical issue in the Middle East, and feel like they can learn about it from a couple infographics on Instagram or
that someone else made together in their Canva and put up.
Yeah, I don't know, just to get to go on the For You page on TikTok or whatever, and they feel like, oh, I get it now, and they are killing innocent children and innocent man. Our retaliation was very harsh. We need to protect our land. To me, makes full, it's so reasonable. It's so, it's there. We know that. You and I, we know that. Right. For foreigners, strangers, people around the world who don't, let me just say to you, I get that you see all of the bombings videos and people that are under wrecks of buildings or whatever. But just so you know that the IDF, and that's what people don't know, they just see the result. They don't see the entire process of it. We have sent evacuation notes to the entire northern area of Gaza, and we asked all of the families to evacuate from there because we are going to attack there. What kind of army besides the IDF would have ever done this? Just tell me, do you think that the US government would have ever notified, I don't know, in Iraq before they bombed there? Come on, do me a favor. Nobody would ever do that. This is the most humanitarian army and the most humanitarian country in the Middle East, and I stand for that. I know that the truth is on our side. People just like to see the end result.
Also, I mean, Israel can't not be involved and let Hamas run Gaza and then also protect the civilians at the same time.
When we advocate for Israel, it doesn't mean that we hate Palestinians in general. The fact is, the Palestinians are suffering not because of Israel, they are suffering because of Hamas. Yeah. People, they call us an apartheid state, let's say, okay? But people don't know that we actually had I don't know the exact number. It's not 17,000. I don't know, a couple thousands for sure. A lot of them had work visas to come into Israel and work in our territory in order to get, living for their families and get money and to make a living from Israel. An apartheid state, this is not, it cannot be when we let them come in and work here. This is not it. Besides the fact that we have 2 million Arabs living in Israel, and they have full rights here. They can be MPs in the parliament. They can judge on the Supreme Court. They can get elected. They can do whatever they want here. So this is not an apartheid state. I'll tell you what, before the attack on October 7th, that, by the way, this is really important to mention, we didn't ask for this war. They came and they surprised us with this attack on Shabbat. This is so terrorists.
Yeah. It's not like a way to start a war either. It's not
right.
war. It's not an active war.
Yeah, no. Which is so funny because we're being judged now on the Supreme Court of the world for committing war crimes, and how this is not the biggest war crime of all times. Like entire families slaughtered in their houses, and nobody says anything. This is insane to me. We are and we were and we will be forever will be very humanitarian to the other side, and we don't hate the Palestinians. They have job authorization, well, not anymore, to come in here and work. And we supply them with food, water, electricity.
Right, the ones in Gaza.
Yeah, we have been helping them for years. Our government has been sending money to the Palestinian authorities for years. But the fact is that Hamas, the terror organization, has been, robbing the money from the Palestinian authorities and using it to buy ammunition in order to annihilate Israel. So you can't really deal with the situation. So my only hope is, for now, that we will be able, as a country, to annihilate Hamas, not only for the sake of the Israeli, Jewish, and Arab, and Christian, and all of the people that are living in Israel, because it's not just Jewish people, but also for the Palestinians, because they deserve a better future. When some of the hostages that came back, they were telling their captivity story, and they said that a lot of them were held by Palestinian families and not Hamas militants. Some of them were in actual homes in the Gaza Strip, like family homes, and not like in tunnels and stuff, not all of them. And they have said that the families treated them awfully also. So they are being taught since birth to hate Jewish people. And their main goal in life, and this is what they bring to their kids all the time, is to kill Jewish people, run over Jewish people, stab Jewish people, shoot Jewish people like Zionists. And I've gotten videos of little Palestinian kids at their preschool show. They have put on a show for their parents, and 3-4-year-old little children are dressed as Hamas militants carrying fake M16s, and they literally played out a situation where a Jewish man walks. One of the kids were dressed as Jewish. They put on a flag, a Israeli flag on him, and and the other ones just killed him on the play that they have played for their parents. It's a kindergarten show.
Videos with me after, and then
I will show you, of course. It needs to be broadcasted. So the fact is, I believe that it all comes from the education. It all comes on what they are brought on to. And as long as it's like this, it's going to be, the conflict is just going to get worse and worse throughout the years, because this is what they know. This is all they know. They are taught to hate Jewish people.
How can we find a way forward?
First of all, annihilate Hamas, annihilate all the heads of Hamas, including Sinwar, Def, Ania, everyone. By the way, Sinwar, I don't know if people know this. Do you know that he was in the Israeli jail for a lot of years, and he actually had a brain tumor, and Israeli doctors saved his life here in the Israeli hospitals, and he was treated here. We saved his life, Crazy. So actually, everything that happens with U.S. campuses and everything, this perception that professors and teachers are teaching the students, young minds of the U.S. that we are an apartheid state. And all those clubs, they have a lot of clubs and forums that they come.
Right, or that this is a legitimate form of resistance.
Yeah,
what happened on October 7th.
And it's all BDS movements and justice for the Palestinians and, I don't know, full blown out lies. And all of us have seen the discussions with Harvard, Gay, the professor, president. Yeah. Well, thank God she was fired. She, she signed in her resignation note. Yeah, but whatever.
She wouldn't have otherwise. So
I want to believe that she was kicked out.
They asked her to,
Yeah,
mindfully.
yeah, because she cheated on her,
Yeah, exactly,
or
exactly.
something. Yeah,
Nothing to do with, being anti-Semitic.
Yeah, so I feel like it's all coming from education, and it's also in the U.S. It's also here in Israel. We have been taught since ever to believe in coexistence and in peace and in love with all types of people, not just Arabs, Muslims. When one side is very very open-minded, very accepting, have been taught since ever to love and appreciate the other people on the other side, on the West Bank or whatever, all types of people, and the other side is filled with pure hatred and is designated to kill, to murder, to do horrible stuff to the other people. I'm pretty sure that everyone has that sense in him to decide and to actually know which side is the right side.
Okay, you put out lots of content on your social media. Yeah. Do you feel like it's getting through? Do you feel like people are listening?
It depends. On some of the days, I feel like I have great conversations with people because of my content on my DMs, and we get to a mutual agreement about stuff, which is great. Also on TikTok, when we go live and we explain to people about stuff that they ask and they want to really know.
Yeah.
But most of the time, no. Most of the time, this is actually very frustrating. I mean, I'm very frustrated a lot of the time because people, it's not that they don't understand, it's that they don't want to understand. I feel like people have taken a stand with their opinions or what they think is right, and they just will battle you because of it. They won't be able to listen. And I always feel like whoever I speak to and whomever I'm talking to, you should always listen, because you can only gain from it. So I feel like with our enemies, let's say so-called enemies, and all the pro-Palestinians online, actually, they are, I'm sorry to say, but they are awful. They are horrible. I just traveled. I came back from France. I was there. And Paris was just notified as really dangerous for Jewish in general. I mean, anti-Semitic, the world has gone anti-Semitic. It's so scary.
How do you differentiate between the people that want to have a conversation and the people that want to just give their opinion and walk away?
I don't know. I just try. I try with anyone I can. This is very important to me. I mean, this is my country. I have lived here my entire life. All of my family is here. Someday I want to raise my children here. And I feel like if we don't speak up about the situation now, and if we won't try to speak out to the world, then we won't be able to have children here. We won't be able to exist in the world. And the Jewish people have always been persecuted, and I don't want to see another Holocaust happening.
What has to happen in order for you to feel safe to raise your children here?
I feel like not only on the West Bank, but also on the North and also on the other territories, we need full borders. You want to call it apartheid, let it be. I don't care. No one gets in or out. We need to find a way to make this barrier between us. Because it's not, I mean, the Gazans and let's call them, Gazans people.
Yeah.
You don't know who is dangerous between them. I mean, I'm not saying there are no innocent people. I'm just saying that their ideology is just to hate us. So you really don't know who's the radical person around besides the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like full separation, full barrier. Yeah, annihilate Hamas, try to fight Hezbollah. By the way, fighting them, full-blown out terror organizations, let's just say, I feel like I need to say it all the time.
No.
So that people realize that these are like terror organizations.
Yeah, on our borders.
Yeah, and I trust our army, and not so much our government, but I trust our army, and I trust the U.S. I trust the U.S. government as well to back us up. So let's just hope this all works out. And I pray, honestly, I pray for peace, but for peace for my people, you know? I pray for peace for the families, soldiers' families, victims' families, hostages' families. We are all brothers and sisters here in Israel. Our strength is within our unity. I feel like we have discovered it again during this wartime. And I wish for peace for my people, and also for Jewish people around the world, because this is hurting me. Literally, I'm hurt. I feel actual pain to see the rise of anti-Semitism around the world.
Thank you so much, Romi. This was really fun.
Thank
really
you.
Great to speak to you.
It was
fun.
great
It's like, ooh.
to get it all out.
Yeah, to get it all out.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And I really hope people listen to you and follow your channel and listen to your messages.